Kevin Tears, everybody. Now, please welcome your next comic for tonight, Brad Atkins.
What's happening? How are you? Let's give it one more round of applause for our host, Liam. 19 years old, good looking, funny, and rich as hell from Council Rock. No reason to be jealous. But there is one thing I have over him. As soon as I'm done here, I'm going to get a fucking beer. You guys might not be able to tell because I'm behind this microphone stand, but I have a little bit of a weight problem. Let me move it. Better? So looking around the room, as usual, you know, I am the fattest guy here. The odds are pretty good when there's 9 people in front of me. But, you know, there's a lot of fears that, you know, fat people have. And I'll say fat because I am fat. So if I offend you, tough. But there's a lot of fears that I have just from being overweight or fat. My number one fear in life is a party rental chair. You guys know what I'm talking about? Not like these black ones, these nice ones they have here. I'm talking about the ones that have like the white frisbee for your back, and then the white frisbee for your ass. Then it's held together with those 2 plastic chopsticks. Those ones. My wife and I went to an outdoor wedding last year. And we walk out, we're over at Northampton Country Club. We walk out and that's the first thing I see are those white plastic chairs. So I just immediately start sweating, right? Because something's gonna happen. So we go, we take our chairs, take our seat, and I slowly kind of disperse the weight into it, like it's gonna make any difference whatsoever. And it holds me. It's like, oh, thank God, you know? And then about 5 minutes into the wedding, I start to see my knees getting closer to my forehead. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I look down, and the feet in the chair were sinking into the ground. Like I'm so fat, I'm moving the earth with a chair. And all I could think about was, I hope these people aren't Catholic. Right? Because we were only 5 to 7 minutes away from the bride and groom not being the biggest story of that wedding. Another problem I have, something simple, right? Like getting a suntan. You would think that I can just get into a lounge chair, spread all this goodness out, right? And get a tan like everybody else. That's fine. The problem is I have to get out of that lounge chair. So in order for me to do that, I basically have to roll myself to the side. And there's really only so many beach whale jokes that I can tolerate in one sitting at the pool. So I have to sit in like a regular 90-degree chair. And what happens there is gravity eventually takes over. So I sit down in that chair and my fat stomach is now resting on my lap, right? And then my giant man titties are now resting on my stomach. And I sit there for an hour or 2, then eventually I stand up. Women know this is why women hate tan lines. And I get this white tan line underneath my stomach, and underneath each man titty, it looks like my stomach is smiling all day long. Just not fair. Just kind of like a cheesecake or a cheeseburger, right? I'm 45 now. 45. So when I go to the doctor at this rate, it's never a good time, right? So I go to the doctor and the first thing I have to do is weigh in. I don't care if it's the middle of February and 15 degrees out and 10 inches of snow. I'm walking into that doctor's office in shorts and a t-shirt to make sure I'm as light as possible. And I step on the scale. Now, my doctor is Asian. I'm not going to do an impersonation of her because I don't want to get canceled. I don't know if you can cancel a nobody, but I don't want to find out, right? So I get on the scale. My doctor says, "Oh, Brad. Brad, you haven't gained any weight this time." I'm like, oh, that's a nice backhanded compliment, right? So we go into the room, and she takes my blood pressure. So she puts it on and pumps it up, listens to whatever the hell she's supposed to be listening to. And she goes, "Huh, very good." I said, "Oh, I got good blood." She goes, "Must be a mistake." And she takes my blood pressure again. I'm like, "Did you just take my blood pressure twice because you didn't believe that I might be a healthy fat guy?" Kind of offensive. Well, now I have this disease. Now obesity is a disease. Okay, if you say so. Most people say it's being lazy and bad choices, but I'll take the disease. Maybe somebody will throw me a benefit or something. But of course, having a disease like obesity, not something that you're really going to talk about that much. Like, I can't go to a benefit for cancer and hear everybody be like, "Oh yeah, I had stage 5 lung cancer and I battled chemotherapy and radiation, but I'm all cured." Or somebody says, "Oh, I have breast cancer and I had whatever they call that, where they rip your breast off, and I've been cancer free for 3 years." What about you? What did you have?